Hola guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to Steal the Spotlight. Back in March, April sort of time, I did a recap video on my favorite collections from the fall winter runway shows. I'll leave a link to it somewhere on the screen in case you missed it. But in that video, I did promise a trend report and I'm so sorry that it's taken me this long to get around to it. But I figure it kind of works out better because we're actually in winter now, at least us in the southern hemisphere. And for the rest of you, it's not too long until it's fall. I don't know, you might just want to favorite the video and come back to it later. But pretty much I'm just gonna sit down, talk about some of the outerwear trends that really caught my eye, and then at the end there will be a lookbook where I style my 4 favorites. So first up is what I found to be quite a memorable trend, and it is the puffer jacket. I think the reason I thought it was memorable was because I was really surprised to see it featured so prominently on so many different runways. Apologies in advance if I'm going to pronounce everything wrong, but it was featured on Burberry, Chanel, Carven, Sonia Rykiel, Acne, and I think that the standout was definitely Balenciaga. That red jacket was literally on every fashion website I clicked on. Next up is a trend that is definitely more my vibe, and it is velvet. I know this is kind of in and out all the time, and kind of love or hate as well. I know a lot of fashion icons in interviews say that they can't stand velvet, and especially crushed velvet as well, but I don't know, I still really dig it. And I think that they really nailed it this season because there was so many different colors and in so many different silhouettes as well. My personal favorite was definitely the Rimmel. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but they absolutely killed it with the long line coat teamed up with the extremely thigh-high boots. I thought that was such a look. Some other collections that featured it include Valentino, Opening Ceremony, Roberto Cavalli, 3.1 Philip Lim, and so many more. Next up is a trend that is a big hit on the runways, but also really popular for street style as well, and it is menswear. I definitely feel as though the androgynous sort of look just continues to gain momentum season after season. It's not going anywhere. This was absolutely no exception. Obviously, there is a lot of different takes when it comes to menswear inspired looks, but this time around I felt like there was a heavy focus on suits and kind of suit separates as well, I suppose, and predominantly in plaid and also a few pinstripes as well. This one is actually the one that caught my eye first, and it was a leather trench coat. I think the first one I saw was on the Alexander Wang runway, where it was in like a really grungy sort of look, but a lot of different people put their own spin on this one. There was a lot of tan leather and also a lot of high gloss as well, so it almost gave like a PVC look. Moving on to something that I consider almost like an old faithful. I feel like to an extent it is always in trend, and that is the shearling jacket. I think the reason why this one is so popular is because anyone of any age can really pull this off. Some of the designers this time around were Paco Rabanne, Ellery, and Altazura, but 3 of my absolute favorites were Tory Burch, Carven, and Trademark. And the reason for that is because as soon as I saw their images, I was like, yes, total Penny Lane vibes. I absolutely love Almost Famous. And honestly, Penny Lane will always and forever be a style icon. Okay, so this next one kind of caught me by surprise, and it is the cape trend. And it wasn't surprising because I think it's ugly or anything like that. I just felt as though the capes really had their time like 2 or 3 years ago, so it felt kind of soon to be bringing them back in such a big way already. And honestly, when it comes to this trend, I feel like I'm kind of on the fence. It can be done really, really well or not so great, so I don't think it's something I'll be trying anytime soon. But 3 designers that I felt like really killed this trend were Prada, Roberto Cavalli, and Marc Jacobs' really dramatic one. I thought they were all done excellently. So the last trend that I wanted to mention is animal print, and this was featured quite a lot for outerwear, but it was also sprinkled amongst all of the looks. There was Isabel Marant, Givenchy, Moschino, and a ton more. Again, this is one of those love it or hate it sort of things, but I definitely feel like the leopard print in particular has made a comeback. It's kind of ditched that stigma of being too tacky. So I'm excited to start my ginormous faux fur leopard coat which is a great segue into the lookbook. So first up, we have my take on the animal print trend. I have had this coat from Missguided for a few years now. I always break it out whenever it is really, really cold. My family kind of make fun of me like it's a bit of a diva coat, but I think you can definitely style it more casually if you throw on a pair of mum jeans and boots like I did here. Also, I know that the print is loud, but don't be afraid to still accessorize with a cool bandana. Next up, we have a look for the leather trench trend. Mine is of course faux, and actually from Missguided as well. They have some really awesome coats at good prices as well if you guys are interested. Obviously, the leather trench is a very powerful look, so I kind of found it a little bit more difficult to style, which is why I just went back to basics, styled it with an all black outfit, and it actually reminds me of something that someone like Kendall Jenner might wear. Now we have the shearling jacket trend, and mine is definitely not as cool as the long line Penny Lane inspired ones, but it is still nice and cozy and has definitely gotten a lot of wear this season. I think it's really cool just to stick with the warm, rusty sort of tones to play on the classic shearling style. Again, I'm wearing mum jeans, I'm sorry guys, but I cannot get enough of them lately. Last but not least, we have the velvet trend. I was lucky enough to find this coat at a thrift store for only $6, which is insane. I absolutely love that red color. It is so bold. So again, I just wanted to keep it fairly simple. I think that it teams up beautifully with the black and white, especially with the length of the culottes teamed up with the length of the coat. It's just the perfect combo. So that was just my take on some of my favorite trends for this season. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments though on which trend you liked the best. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Mwah!